So this might just be the most controversial balance update to date on multiple fronts. Look, I know you have lots to say about it, so sound off in the comments. Anyway, let's get down to business. And we start on a positive note. I love this change to Attuma. His stats remain the same, but now his ability reads, after each turn, destroy one of your cards here with less power. Now, previously you had to armor or zero him to get a 410 basically, right? That was okay like, what, a year ago. In the current game though, that's pretty mid stats. With this redesign, Attuma not only keeps that 10 power on the board, but he is also a huge enabler in the Destroy archetype. You can play your X-23, Deadpool, Wolverine or Nimrod into his lane for free destroys. Easy include into those decks. Yeah, sure, at 10 power, he is Shang-Chi-able, but if you're playing Destroy, you probably got Null to soak up that power, right? He's also great tech against clogged decks, Rocks, Widow's Kisses, Goblins. Now he can get rid of them. Mwah, chef's kiss, I love this redesign. So after they reworked Professor X, Cannonball's play rate pretty much evaporated, so he's now getting a 1 power buff. He is 5'8". Okay, so this one I see as a side grade as opposed to an up or downgrade. Destroyer loses 2 base power, he's now a 6'14", and his ability reads, on reveal, destroy your cards at other locations. So instead of destroying all your other cards in play, he only destroys the cards in the other 2 lanes. And because the lane you play him in is protected, I think shaving 2 power off of him is fair. I still think he's a card you need to play out earlier though, with like X-23 or Force turn 7 with Magic to truly optimize him, but Nimrod and Death are still going to be great synergies with this guy.
I have been falling for 30 minutes!
They just can't get Loki right, can they? Loki goes from a 3-5 to a 2-2. He still replaces your deck with your opponent's starting deck. Those cards still get -1 cost, but you don't draw a card. Okay, at some point, we all have to agree that Arishem is the problem here, right? And not so much Loki. Okay, his cost to power ratio is now horrible at a 2-2. You do get to play him 1 turn early, and in a non-Arishem deck, that's turn 2, and you have 4 turns to draw your opponent's discounted cards. Okay, I can live with that. But if you don't draw him early, he's kind of trash. And then there's the Arishem problem. If you're playing Loki in an Arishem deck, you can now play Loki on turn 1. And isn't that the problem to begin with, the Loki-Arishem combo? Okay, hear me out. How about this for a fix? Change Arishem instead. At the start of the game, make him draw 12 random cards and replace half your deck with random cards as well. So this way you have the extra energy, but there is a risk of losing your Loki. Just leave poor Loki alone when Arishem's the freaking problem, you know?
After a brief adjustment period and a bunch of drinks.
Copycat's stats remain the same, but her ability changes from stealing to copying the text from the bottom of your opponent's deck. Oof. So, okay, what made Copycat so good was that she provided intel on your opponent's deck, disruption by potentially taking away their combo piece, all with a decent 3-5 stat line. Now they've removed the disruption element, which personally to me was her most powerful tool. Do I think she's still playable? Yes. It just kind of sucks if you spent keys on her and, you know, now you're stuck with this.
Government had nothing to do with this.
Okay, this one stings, but I understand this is a preemptive nerf. Beast goes from a 2-2 to a 3-5. Ability remains the same. Yes, he gets 3 more power, but at a 3 cost, it's going to be tough to curve him out properly. Now, as someone who spent most of this season playing a bounce shell, I hate this nerf, but I'm pretty sure they've done this in preparation for next season where Move is gonna get so many new tools. Specifically, Madam Web and Aranya. They're gonna really help scale up cards like Human Torch and Dagger. And if Beast stayed at 2 costs, I think the Move bounce archetype would be absolutely cracked. It sucks, but I understand it. Which brings us to our next nerf. So Taskmaster goes from a 5-0 to a 6-0. Apparently in their testing, Second Dinner identified Taskmaster at 5-0 as a future problem. Once again, with some of the new cards coming out, I am willing to bet it's the new move cards getting cards like Dagger and Human Torch up to crazy levels, and then you bounce them back to your hand and play them on the final turn with Taskmaster to copy that scaled up power. I can see that as a problem with Beast and Taskmaster's previous stats. But now with their increased cost, it's going to be harder to pull off. So let me know what you think about these changes. You hate them, you love them. As you can see, I'm doing this kind of differently, a different format. and a little bit later than usual, so I apologize for that, because this time around we didn't get a preview of the updates as Second Dinner is trying to figure out who keeps leaking the update info. I gotta say, it really sucks for those of us who have full-time jobs and rely on these previews to prepare our videos beforehand. And you know, when these balance updates go live, it's usually 3 a.m. where I am. So yeah, I love Snap, but I ain't waking up at 3 a.m. to record videos, man. Come on now.